Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends. This is Dylan with Tucson Future Classics, and that is our 2022 Hyundai Kona Electric Limited. This one has got just under 78,000 miles on it. Sold new out in Loma Linda, California. Spent most of its life in Vegas before making its way down here to us in Tucson. This is shot in pulse red with the black leather interior. Highest trim level you get. Every single option is stuffed into this. Front seat passengers get perforated, heated, and cooled front seats. Now, this model is actually a very interesting car because Hyundai and Kia shared it between the Kona and the Niro. The Niro went for boxier, sportier styling. The Kona went with more aerodynamic to maximize range, and they focused on a soft ride, a quieter interior, and tech. So you get a bump-in Harman Kardon sound system. This is a scaled-down version of what is pretty widely regarded as the best EV platform out there, the Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis eGMP platform. The big cars use an 800-volt architecture. This uses a 400-volt architecture. It still fast charges from 10 to 80% in about 40 to 45 minutes. Has a 258-mile range according to the EPA. I'd put it somewhere closer to 220 to 230 down here in the desert with our high-speed highways and the pretty strong air conditioning demands. But it's tinted dark enough to help everything out without getting you in trouble with the fuzz. And the efficiency on these things is pretty fantastic. They estimate 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour or 120 miles per gallon equivalent. But over the last little more than 10,000 miles on the trip computer on this, it averaged 4.9 miles per kilowatt hour. Really impressive for a compact crossover EV. You can just see, I mean, the way the nose is shaped on it, the little air dams and air baffles here to direct air around the tires to make it as slippery as possible. Like, they employed a lot of tricks to make this thing slippery and quiet at any speed it is running, and it really shows when we drive it. So let's get into the car, under the frunk, in the back, full tour of that, and then I'll show you how good this thing is out on the road. I pop the hood, I'll show off the nose-mounted charger, push in, opens right up, and it's your standard fare J1772 on top, CCS fast charge adapter here on the bottom. Now the cool thing is, not only do these fast charge pretty quickly, and the nose mounted charger makes it really easy to just pull in whether you're at home or at a station, but these can use the NACX, the Tesla chargers with an adapter, and can even use their superchargers. Coming up here under the hood, there isn't that much to see because this shares a platform with a gas and a hybrid too. So all this room that would have to fit a conventional combustion engine just takes up the drivetrain and the inverter here. So the only things you as the owner really have to worry about are washer fluid right here, your brake fluid reservoir up here, coolant reservoir for the combined battery pack, inverter, and drive unit, and then your 12-volt battery right here and a couple fuses there. Clean and simple up here. It's an EV. You don't have that much to worry about. Pretty good opening here in the back, as you'd expect from a tall hatchback, like compact crossover style vehicle. This one still has the sunshade and cargo protector here that connects there, so it keeps us completely sun free. Pretty good load floor, nice and reinforced. You've got your top tethers there for the bigger, heavier duty child seats or booster seats. And up underneath here, this is a false floor with two different layers. You got a little organizing tray here set in foam, and then below that you've got a second layer with more of the owner's handbooks, the first aid kit, the tow hook, and the flat tire, fix-a-flat goo, and inflator down below, just in case, because these were never equipped with spares to save weight and to make room for that battery pack. So you got fix-a-flat goo and a tow hook. Climbing into the back of the Kona EV, slide on in. Both of these seats are all the way back, so I'll slide behind my own driver's seat for you all real quick. This seat is fully back and reclined for me filming. Little snug, but with some man spreading, I actually fit pretty comfortably. I'll turn the camera around, and as you can see, my hair is pretty crazy because it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, but I'm 6'1", 270 pounds, and I mean, little bit of knee room there. My feet are comfy, I've got good headroom, and this actually reclines nicely, so you can see you've actually got a pretty good amount of room back here. Spinning the camera around one more time, you've got the child seat latch anchors on the bottom of both rear seats, and here in the middle, you've got your cup holder armrest. One other nice little touch is a USB-A fast charger behind the center console for the backseat passengers. Climbing into the captain's seat of the Kona Electric. Before I even get in, really quick, big water bottle holder here on the door, perfect size for my Yeti. Harman Kardon premium sound system, stamped on all the speakers, and most importantly, start this thing up and immediately turn on that ventilated driver's seat, so we can get the old gooch cooler working here and get some comfort going. But now that we're settled in, temperatures are set, comfort's coming along, let's go through all the buttons, switches, knobs, and dials you would interact with on a day-to-day basis in this car. Driver's door, all the usual stuff. Your power windows, your power door locks, and your power mirrors. Right here, dimmer for the center gauge. This is your parking alerts, your little blind spots on and off. This engages automatic lockout of the charge door up front. If you have it in auto, it slaves the lock and unlock to the key fob so it can't be opened or the charge cord can't be removed when the vehicle is locked. And that's your burnout button. Radio controls and infotainment controls are here. Don't mind that flickering. That is the refresh rate on my phone, not the screen itself. And then over here, this is your cruise control controls, and this controls that main screen in the middle of your gauge cluster. So you can go through all of the usual menus, some settings that let you really personalize it there. Also, a fun thing with this screen in the middle, these will change depending on the drive mode you are in. Or, before I get to the infotainment fully, I want to show you this under setup, screen layout. They also have a cool theme called Cube, where it'll show your speed and your current miles per kilowatt hour average for the drive. So you'll see, sitting here with the AC running, mine is plummeting because I'm using kilowatt hours, but I haven't moved. But as you drive, that'll actually reflect your real miles per kilowatt hour efficiency. It's just a neat little touch and a little bit of levity that Hyundai put into this thing. EV specific controls are these paddles behind the wheel here and here. These control in real time your regen. They've given you a lot of ways to dial in and customize this thing to however it is that you want to drive it. On to the infotainment, because this is a pretty well integrated screen, and even in direct sunlight on a 1 billion degree day, it works great. It's not laggy at all. I love this, their main just like chill screen. It shows a decontented map, just showing just raw streets and your location with no nothing on it. But it's a nice look with, the time and your entertainment settings. EV up here, quick and dirty, runs you through all of your EV specific settings, showing where you can change maximum charges for DC fast charging versus AC charging at home. You can change the current. Winter mode preconditions the battery with its heater, and utility mode lets you run all the accessories in the vehicle without the vehicle actually being in run mode. So if you're parking for a long time or car camping, which is a pretty clever thing. This will also show in real time your battery state of charge to the percentage, as well as range with and without HVAC, and distance to the nearest publicly available charger in Kia and Hyundai's network. Nav, you've got map, full integrated navigation. One neat thing with this is that if you hit EV range, it zooms out and shows a circle showing just how far visually you can make it on the battery currently in your car, which is pretty neat. But most importantly, out of all of this, phone projection right here. Now, this has wired in Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So I felt like hooking up one of my phones it would completely port your phone here, and then Android Auto or Apple CarPlay would completely run the show. One other neat thing up here that's a kind of curiosity that Hyundai and Kia do, traffic and Doppler radar are built into the HD radio, so it uses the FM radio signals to, in real time, show weather radar and traffic backups. You don't need a Sirius XM subscription or a data connection or anything. It comes right over the FM radio airways, which is kind of cool. Quiet mode directs all the sound up front, so kiddos can nap in the back, and you can set a maximum volume. And if, let's say, you have nothing else you want to listen to, you can go to Sounds of Nature and enjoy such bangers as Lively Forest, On a Sailing Ship, City at Dawn, and many others. It's just a nice little thing they added in here kind of for fun. Now, below all of that, these hotkeys here manage all of the major functions, so you don't need to rely on the touchscreen if you don't want to. And down here are your HVAC controls. It's an EV, so set it to auto, let it do its thing. It will work as quickly and as efficiently to cool the car down to its set temperature. But if you want to take over, this is how hot you want it, this is how hard you want it, and this tells it where you want it. It also has a cool feature. If you're the only one in the car, you could turn on driver only. It flips a baffle, and now all of the AC air is pointed directly at you, because again, it is more electrically efficient to cool you down personally than the whole inside of the car. Under this little flip up, you've got a USB line in, wireless charger right down there. My work iPhone is sitting in there right now. You've got dual cup holders here, electric parking brake there. This is your gear selector, park, reverse, neutral, and drive, set in a little square. We've already seen these, but let's look at them again. For the front seats, heated and cooled, both sides. And then heated steering wheels in the middle. Drive mode changes your drive modes. And auto hold just keeps the car from creeping or rolling when you are at a stop. One other cool piece of storage in this, before I look at anything else, is right underneath. You've got a full under tray under that center console with a standard 12-volt cigarette lighter style port and a USB quick charge on the other side. The only other thing of note up here is a pretty deep and spacious center console, and the one best trick for down here in the desert. If you crack this sun visor and then you push up, that pops it to vent. So you turn your AC on, turn your air conditioned seats on, and you drive like that for about 3 miles. The negative air pressure on the back of that will pull all that hot air out of the car and cool you down in a big, big hurry. But that's enough in here. Let's actually drive. All right, dropping down out of the remarkably full parking garage today. I've got all the windows down. We're gonna do a little, little listen check. It's a, 3-year-old EV. You're not gonna really be hearing any sorts of bumps, squeaks, or rattles. That click was telling me that the headlights automatically turned on because of the low light condition in here. But it's an EV. The only noise it makes is that which it is federally required to make, under 20 miles an hour. But yeah, keep your ears peeled and listen for any noise other than the scrubbing of the tires on concrete or my hand on the wheel. Little squeeze of throttle, little touch of brake. Thing drives nice and quiet and handles low speeds very, very well. Now I've kind of got my eyes peeled because I'm trying to find a parking spot down in here so I can show off the parking assist features, but we might just be too full. So I'm gonna mimic it since we're sitting here and it's pretty empty. Put it in to reverse. You'll see backup camera comes on, as well as the full suite of rear-facing sonars. Lines move with you as you'd expect, and let's say I'm not paying attention and getting a little close to this pole and that Honda. These sensors will start picking it up, and it'll let out a pretty significant yell, and it'll flash at you if you get too close, so you don't, back into something you wouldn't otherwise want to back into. I will show you all a good high-speed highway cruising segment in just a minute, but I wanted to show off, going through a pretty narrow and congested work zone here, just how good Hyundai Kia's driver assist and adaptive cruise is. The lane keep tracks the lanes and locks you in nicely. Even though my cruise is set at 65, we're down here doing 55, locked onto the car in front of us. And it makes its little micro corrections really nicely and accelerates with traffic. This isn't a true, autopilot or self-driving thing, but it's a really, really competent cruise control system, driver assist cruise control that just takes like 60, maybe 80% of the workflow and stress off of you as a driver. So you just kind of settle back into that cooled seat and let it do its thing. Also, now that we're getting a little bit of speed in it, this cruises very, very nicely on the highway. Like that old auto car that we just passed, that big old rig, was actually the loudest thing in here. The wind noise is really well muted by the aerodynamic shape and Hyundai focusing on, noise, vibration, and harshness in their engineering. And it's an EV, so there's no engine or driveline noise. Now watch this. As this guy comes up, well, it catches him, shows that we got a little bit close, and backs us off to compensate. Again, very clever system. Very, very nice for handling long highway trips if you need to. Quick look out here on a Desert 2 lane of how this thing handles, lower speeds, but broken up pavement and some cornering. Again, it does a quite good job at it. It's quiet, it's comfy. It is a thoroughly competent little vehicle. Staged up at the end of a mostly deserted dead-end road here in Tucson. Gonna do things a little bit differently today. I am not turning traction control off for this because a little behind the scenes, I just did that, and this thing will delete a set of tires like you wouldn't believe. It's hilariously fun. However, I don't want to beat up too much on a car that somebody's going to be buying, and more importantly, I don't want to have to pay the owner, Brian, for a new set of tires out of my own pocket. These are fresh, these are good, I don't want to ruin them. So, 0 to 40 to 0, showing off nothing hiding in the braking or suspension system of the car, and showing off just how fun 300 foot-pounds of torque from nothing is in a compact EV crossover. Sport mode is engaged. 3, 2, 1, hit it. Hear that traction control working really hard to keep it reeled in. 40. ABS right to a stop. This thing accelerates great and stops really good too. Now, I'm not telling you how to live your life, and I don't necessarily encourage such relentless hoonery, but I'm not saying that you should take your compact crossover EV to the drag strip and hurt some people's feelings. But I'm definitely not saying that either. This thing is a really punchy thing to drive. And I don't know what Hyundai did differently with the throttle mapping and programming on this versus the Kia Niro siblings of these that I've driven a bunch of, but this feels way punchier on the throttle. It's a riot. It's a really good time to drive. Without the panic stop, pulling here onto the frontage road, I'm just gonna roll into the throttle so it doesn't spin them so much. It's fighting to not spin all the way up past 60 miles an hour. This car rocks. It is really, really fun to drive. You could definitely hurt some sports cars' feelings in this thing off the line. I know I've talked about the efficiency of this vehicle a lot, but I just got back to our yard and I wanted to show you all here at the lot. My last drive, mostly highway, I put on 23 miles. It averaged 4.2 miles per kilowatt hour, and I even managed to get, a couple of 80-mile runs and that 0 to 40 to 0 acceleration run for you guys. So this was not a particularly gentle 23 miles, and that is the efficiency it still got at 111 degrees outside, by the way, with the AC ripping. All day today, I've put a total of 61 miles on this, 3.5 hours through that because a lot of it was spent filming, keeping the AC running so myself and my phones didn't overheat, and it still managed 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. And if I go up 2 more pages, that is the big headline. Trip meter maxed out at all nines, 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour over 79.5 hours of runtime. Pretty impressive stuff. And that bottom timer, by the way, maxes out at 99 hours and resets. So that's probably rolled over a couple of times as well. There you have it, everybody. Back at our little dirt lot, wrapping everything up on the 2022 Hyundai Kona Electric Limited. You can really tell, especially in this limited, full optioned guise, that when Hyundai came out with the Kona Electric, they were aiming squarely at the Tesla Model 3, and they came correct at every single turn. The driving dynamics in this is very, very nice. It's actually fun to whip around. Super punchy thanks to that 300 foot-pounds of torque, 200 horsepower. And the efficiency is one of the best you can find in a hatchback shape. It just ticks every box you need it to do as a runaround, family hauler, even as a road tripper. It charges really quickly. So there isn't a lot you can't do with this thing. And oh my God, once you have ventilated and cooled seats, you're never going to go back. So to check this thing out, see why I'm so impressed by this Kona, and enjoy a little extra ventilation for yourself, call or text the number on screen, or click the link in the description below to make an appointment. As always, I've been Dylan. We'll see you soon.